3. Hey guys, so in today's video we're going to be going over the part 2 of sets from what we did yesterday. If you're not familiar with sets, please feel free to check out the other link in the description where I go over the basics of what a set is. And just kind of as a recap, a set is an unordered pair of unique objects, meaning if there were 2Ds in this set, that only one of them would be printed out, because sets only print out the unique items or unique objects. So if we were to go ahead and run that, again, only 1D is showing. So yeah. So in today's video, we're going to be going over the different methods that we use with the set. We'll start with difference, then move on to discard, difference update, intersection, isdisjoint, issubset, and so on. Now, when it comes to these different methods, you can think of them as just interlocking circles or a Venn diagram. I bring in this Venn diagram because there's going to be a lot of overlap between the two different sets. So if something's in set A, it'll also be in set B, and then we'll be able to see that with these different methods below right here. So we'll just kind of start with the difference between set A and set B. So we've already got set A printed. Let's go ahead and add difference. And then let's go ahead and use B set. Now, if we were to go ahead and run this, what would happen is we'd get A and B. So remember what I mentioned about the circles. When it comes to the difference method, what we have here is we have the difference from set A. You're taking A set, and you're going to call the method B set, or D difference, with B set in it. And you're going to see that even though we have C and D, and also set A and B are not actually in B set. So what our output is A and B. And likewise, if we were to switch these around, if we would do like B set, and we'd have A set being called, or set A, and if we were to go ahead and run that, we'd have E, G, F, and H. Again, that's because C and D are also called within the, or are also established in set A. So let's actually change these up a bit, set 1, and we'll just do 2 set to make it a little bit easier to understand, because we're going to be working with the integers. Oh no, I forgot about that. You cannot use a number as the beginning of a variable. So let's move that around, and perfect. And that will go ahead and bring us on to our second method, which is the discard. Now, if you haven't already guessed, just kind of think about, what do you think discard would do if we were to go ahead and call that? Discard would go ahead and discard whatever item we want to discard it. So let's say we were to do that with C, and then we were to go ahead and print out the set itself, we'd get none. Now we're getting none because no value is actually being returned, but if we were to go ahead and call the second set, set 2, we would have the set printed, but without C. So all discard is really doing is it is getting rid of the value that we want to get rid of. Just remember though that this will be permanent. So if you do not want your algorithm to have this be permanent, what you could do is you could establish a new variable, and then we could set it equals to set2.discard, and then you could get rid of this, and it would be established in the variable, rather than actually having it remain permanent for the remainder of your algorithm. So just remember, this will be permanent. So that will bring us up to the next method, which is the .difference update. Now let's go ahead and print that out. So let's go ahead and call set 1, and we'll call .difference update, and then we'll go ahead and call set 2. And if we were to go ahead and print that, what would happen is we'd get none. Now the reason again that we're getting none is because we get the difference within the two items. Now what I mean by this is the difference update is updating set 1 from set 2. So all that's happening is we're not really returning a value, but a set 1 is being updated to remove the items that are also in set 2. So it's getting rid of C and D because C and D are established in set 2. So just remember when we're working with both of these, the discard and the difference, you'll return none, but it will remain permanent unless you establish a variable. And then going down the rest of your algorithm, you'll go ahead and have the output be permanently established within the algorithm itself. So you're not getting essentially any value returned. All that's happening is the set is being updated. Next, we'll go ahead and move on to the intersection. And so again, remembering the Venn diagram, what we have here, we're going to just remind ourselves that there will be an intersection within the two sets. So if, for example, you were to go ahead and use the print, and we'll do set 1, and we'll go ahead and do dot intersection. Oops, not update, intersection. And if we were to go ahead and do set 2, what do you think would happen? Now, we obviously return the intersection of set 1 and set 2. Now we're returning C and D. Again, that's why I always kind of bring up the Venn diagram. We're just essentially returning what the overlap is. Next, we'll go ahead and move on to isdisjoint, issubset, and issuperset. These ones will actually be quite useful when working with different sets, and if, for example, you wanted to create a database that you needed to, I don't know, see if there's any primary keys or see if there's any overlap within some of your working items. So if, for example, we were to go ahead and use isdisjoint, is would obviously be calling the first set, dis meaning not, and also joint. Obviously, you could think of that as like a union. So remember, if you see dis, it means not. Let's go ahead and use print, and we'll do set 1. Dot is disjoint, and then we'll do set 2. Now, all that we're going to return with this will be a Boolean value, and we're going to get false. The reason that we're getting false is because set 1 and set 2 both have values that are overlapping with C and D. If we were to get rid of C and D in set 2, we would return true. So isdisjoint means, are they not similar? Are they not like a union pair? Do they not have overlapping values within set 1 and set 2? And so next, that'll go ahead and bring us up to the is subset. And what a subset is it means just values that are held within the first set and the second set. So if we were to go ahead and call is subset, we would go ahead and return false. Now the reason that we're returning false is because we're calling set 1, and we're saying is set 1 a subset of set 2. Because a subset or set 1 has A and B, and set 2 does not have A and B, it is not considered a subset of set 2. But if we were to go ahead and get rid of A and B in the first set, and in the second set we were just allowed to remain as it is, we'd get true. This is because set 1 holds only values that are found in set 2. Set 2 can have any number of values as long as those values are found within the first set, and that's why we're able to return true. So again, when working with databases, if you have values that are found in set 1 and you want to see if they actually have all and only values that are found in set 2 for whatever reason, you could always use the .isSubset method. Now, if, for example, we were to go ahead and move on to is a superset, we would get is, let's copy this, let's paste that there, and let's have some room so we could see what happens next. Rather than is subset, we're going to do superset. Is superset. We'd be able to see the difference in the two. Now, all a superset is it's doing the reverse. Here, we're saying, does set 1 have values that are found in set 2? And that is true. Whereas here, we're saying, is set 1 a superset of set 2? So meaning the reverse is true. So for example, we were to say, go ahead and copy the rest of this. And if we were to go ahead and add A and B back, now we'd see the reverse. We would see true and false. So now all we're doing is we're essentially switching the two sets with each other. What we're doing here with set 1 is because it has all the values that are found in set 2, we can say that yes, set 1 is a superset, meaning it's over set 2 and it has all values of set 2, even though it also has values of its own. Whereas set 1 here is not a superset, but is rather a subset of set 2, because it does have values that exceed set 2. So if you want to, for example, make both of these statements true, all you would do, all you would do is you reverse the sets themselves, and now we would get true and true. And so next, that'll go ahead and bring us on to our final method, which is the union. And that shouldn't be too hard to remember. So for those that do not know, fun fact, union is also found within SQL, and it does pretty much the same thing for when joining two different tables together. We're just going to be joining both sets together. And to make this look pretty, let's get rid of C through H for set 1 so we can see what happens. So all that's happening for the two sets is it's just making a union between each of the different items. Although it's out of order, the point is that the union will go ahead and bring each value here in set 1 and it'll combine it with set 2. So hopefully you didn't find this too confusing, and hopefully the Venn diagram helped just a bit to allow you to kind of see how differences will work, and it's really just an overlap of the first set with the second set, and then how you can manipulate the two sets together and find if there's true or false values and whatnot. But in the link in the description, I'll go ahead and add some additional questions. I'll change these questions up from tuple to sets, and you guys could go ahead and answer them. Likewise, I would also advise if you need to remember these, go ahead and create flashcards. But more importantly, you can find all of this information on the website linked in the description. It'll go ahead and have a very brief description of what each different method does. So you don't actually have to remember them. Just know that these methods are out there for you to use in your own algorithms. So I want to thank you guys for watching this video. Please feel free to check out some other videos where I go over Python programming. And yeah, thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.